Well, this is it. The Tour Down Under is about to start. Stage 1, 135 kilometres done on 3 laps to Angaston, and it's a stage which seems fairly hard to predict. It's a climb towards the end of 2.5 kilometres with 11 k's to go. So will it be a sprint or will it be a small group? Well, the riders are here lined up, ready for the off. Before they came here, we caught up with a few of them to find out their thoughts.
I think that's the big question. I think everybody's being asked, and no one really knows the answer. You know, some people think it's going to be 20 guys, 30 guys, and I think it's probably going to be a little bit bigger. It's not too long a stage. Depends how nervous and how much wind it is, but the wind keeps on kind of starting and stopping. But it's always nervous the first day. No one knows really how they're going, and the climb I think will be hard for everyone.
Yeah, it all depends on the wind as well. The wind could be a major factor before the climb. Even could go to a smaller group before the climb. So, yeah. Well, wait and see what happens.
I can actually see quite a big group coming to the finish. We've had a look at the climb, and yes, it is hard, but it looks like we're going to have a bit of a headwind up there. So I can see like 60, 70 guys coming to the finish at least.
Well, it's quite difficult to say, and that's actually what makes it nice, because I regret that last year this stage was not in the Tour. 2 years ago it was, and it's like one of those stages where it can go 2 directions. There's maybe the real sprinters, they can survive, but maybe not.
Whoa, that's a good question. It's the first stage, so everybody's on zero. So we have to see who's in the good condition, and probably 20, 30. But probably if you go with 30 to the finish, then probably 15 will be dead by then. So maybe 15. Maybe 5 crash, and then you have 10 left, and then you have the 5 strongest guys in the sprint, so probably 3.
The race got underway with favourable 25-degree temperatures, but as they set out on the circuit, the wind was picking up, a factor which could play its part later in the outcome of the race. Within a few kilometres, 2 riders had formed the day's breakaway, and it wasn't a surprise to see the 2 invited teams, Drapac and Uni-SA, being the animators, in the form of Will Clark, a stage winner here in 2012, and Neil van der Ploeg. At the first sprint, Clark got the better of van der Ploeg to pick up the 5 points and 3-second time bonus, while Simon Gerrans of Giant-Shimano came out of the bunch to pick up the remaining second. There was little action before the second sprint of the day, where van der Ploeg turned the tables on Clark to take maximum points, and Simon Gerrans this time taking the remaining 1-second time bonus despite some competition from Rojas and Vis. Up front, Will Clark decided he wanted to go alone, attacking his younger companion on the last of the 3 laps, but through the impetus of the Cannondale and BELKIN teams, his lead was reduced to 22 seconds as the main climb of the day loomed. Well, this is the main feature of today's stage, coming towards the end, up to the top here of Mengler's Hill, which is 2.7 k's long, but having just driven up here, I have to say it's only the first 1.5 k that's really steep. After that, it levels off for a slight kick up towards the top here, where we've also got the King of the Mountains. And the big question is, how many, if any, of the sprinters are going to be able to hang on to the front group? Their chances will be aided slightly by a strong headwind. Let's see what happened. Team Sky upped the pace significantly in the 3 kilometres leading into the climb. Whilst riders dropped off the back, it was a while before we saw the first attack off the front. And it wasn't until close to the top that Adam Hansen of Lotto-belisol made a strong move, cresting the climb alone and assuring himself of a day in the climber's jersey. Behind, Team Sky's Philip Dijkman set the pace, eventually catching Hansen, which set up a counter-attack for a duo of Europcar riders. However, with 6 riders from Lotto, including Greipel, it wasn't long before things got organised in the reduced peloton, and with just over a kilometre to go, it was all back together. Rory Sutherland of TINKOFF-SAXO was next to make his move, attacking under the Flamme Rouge, but he couldn't hold off the Lotto Red train, who were quick to shut it down. Things were looking perfect for Greipel, who launched his sprint inside the last 200 metres, but, looking slightly overgeared, he was eventually passed by Simon the Sniper Gerrans inside the last 20 metres. It's been the perfect start to the season for Gerro, and once he'd finished his podium celebrations, he gave us this reaction. Were there any doubts in your mind of the win today? I mean, it's a pretty impressive victory ahead of somebody that fast.
Listen, I didn't think I was going to win today's stage until the last 100 metres probably. But when I saw Greipel there, I thought, there's a good opportunity here to still pick up a couple of seconds. It's just a matter of getting his wheel and following him to the line, which is normally all I'll be capable of doing with Greipel around. But it's a tough run up to the finish here, and I sort of took quite a lot out of everybody, and I managed to get through that still in pretty good shape, so I think that gave me the opportunity to come past him.
Reasonably tough climb towards the finish today. Anybody else that you looked at that seemed quite impressive in terms of challenging to the overall?
No one was sort of showing too much on that on Mengler's hill today. There's still quite a few kilometres to go to the finish. So yeah, there wasn't too much being given away, and as we saw, there was still quite a big group at the top. So we didn't go up there at a super hot pace, but I'm sure we'll see a bit more in the next couple of days.
Before we head out on a ride each day, it is worthwhile giving your bike a quick check over just to make sure that everything's in good working order. So if you're a relative newbie to the sport, here's GCN's guide on what to look out